Welcome back. We're now at lesson 5. And you guessed it, the other dog wasn't happy. So here's a more flattering photo of Oscar. I hope that keeps him happy and we don't have to put up with his snoring today. So in this lesson, we'll finish developing our overview of mathematics. Remember that I said there are 3 different types of math situations you will encounter. Keep that firmly in mind. Here they are. Type 1 maths changes the value of something. The emphasis is simply on investigating the change. So 4 can be changed into other values. Type 2, find a missing value, such as a missing number can be changed into 6. What is that missing number? And type 3 illustrates all possibilities that use the change that has been specified, and it generates a matching picture. Now elaborating on type 3, our illustration. This is used to relate a starting value and what it changes into. In other words, an input and an output. In some practical cases, we might view this as a cause and effect, such as in the way that the radius of a circle generates a matching area. Note that the radius and area are 2 aspects of the same circle. So the circle is providing a setting for an investigation where one value can be changed into another. We use 2 lines to hold the possible numerical values. In mathematics, the lines are referred to as axes. Starting values are written on a horizontal line, and finishing values are presented vertically. And we call the diagram a sketch, such as what's shown on page 4. If we want to represent the situation of a school, looking at the number of children in a family in order to anticipate how many seats they will need at a meeting, the illustration would be labelled with the input, the first consideration being the number of children, and the output, the conclusion we are seeking, being the number of seats required. However, if we are representing the situation faced by the waiter, a different illustration is appropriate. His consideration is the number of seats that he can see at the table, and his conclusion is the number of smaller cutlery sets suitable for children to be put on the table. Each possible combination of input and output, or starting value and finishing value, is then represented by a point on the appropriate diagram. For the school, we would have number of children determines the number of chairs required. If we have 2 children in the school, then the meeting will have 4 chairs to allow for both parents. Now, it's not essential that both parents attend, but we won't bother with complications like that. Now, for the waiter, if the waiter sees 4 chairs, they know to put out 2 of the smaller sets of cutlery. From the perspective of the school, we read a diagram, children to chairs. From the waiter's point of view, we viewed it as chairs to children. Real life situations can be more complicated. As I said, maybe only one parent can attend. And do we consider the possibility of no children? That might be a table for guest speakers. Remember, our emphasis throughout these lessons is on keeping things simple. We only need one practical setting in order to develop our ideas. We've now completed a first overview of the subject. We can summarise the position we're at as follows. Our understanding of maths generally is based on knowing there are three types of situation we will be dealing with. The first changes the value of something. Emphasis on a change is occurring. The second finds a missing value. We are seeking something. And the third illustrates what can happen. It illustrates all the possibilities based on that type of change. Now, people usually find type 1 easy, but unfortunately, some tend to rely on memory rather than investigating the nature of what's causing the change. Type 2 is the one that people most frequently come across in a maths course, and they generally find that difficult. Type 3, the illustration is more sophisticated and it assumes an understanding so people can interpret what they are looking at. Now, in order to be successful on these three types of maths, type 1 needs attention to the detail of what's happening. Type 2 needs work to develop some reusable skills. And type 3 needs the ability to look into the diagram and interpret what it is saying. We'll develop each of these ideas further, but for the moment we can confidently say we have developed a useful overview of mathematics. I hope you're starting to see how it could be useful. I'll see you in the next lesson.